Welcome back to another video. My name is Henrik and today we're going to be looking at the most luxurious ID model that you can currently get in a lineup, which is the Volkswagen ID.7. We have it in the Pro variant, which is going to cost you 54,000 euros. In Germany you also get a little bit of a discount from Volkswagen, so around 50,000 for the car. You can also get the Pro S, that's going to start around 58,000, and then you can also get the new GTX variant with a little more horsepower. And our test vehicle is going to set you back around 64,000 euros. We're going to look at everything that this car offers and let's get right into it. So let's start off with the design in the front, and I think the car does look fairly sporty in the front and just very aerodynamic. The car is going to have a fairly low CV value of 0.23 compared to, instance, for a Hyundai Ioniq 6, which is a very drag coefficient car of 0.21. We have a very sleek and kind of like round looking design in the front. LED daytime running light going all the way through with the Volkswagen logo in white down here. A little bit of, well, air intakes down there with also black touches here with real air vents going over onto the side. We do also have the optional IQ lights, which are going to matrix LED lights, due to the fact that we also have the exterior package plus with the panoramic window, which is going to set you back almost 5,000 euros. But for that, you also get a couple of driving features, which definitely are a nice thing to pick up if you definitely want these lights, because they are very good lights when it comes to the Volkswagen matrix lights. And in the front, we probably have the smallest bonnet that I've ever seen, and there's really nothing in here, but it allows me to tell you a little bit about the engine and the battery. So the battery is going to be an 82 kilowatts an hour battery pack with a net usage of 77 kilowatts an hour. If you want more, you can also get the Pro S variant. That's going to get an 84 kilowatts an hour battery, so a little bit more range. But out of this, WLTP 612 kilometers, which is already really good with a consumption of, well, 14.1 up to around 16.3. We're going to also do a loading test here in a second. The car is going to have 286 horsepower and also 545 newton meters with a top speed of 180. Weird thing about that is the GTX variant with 340 horsepower also has a top speed of 180. And this car is also going to get from 0 to 100 in 6.5 seconds. You can see we have the limousine variant of the ID.7. You can also get it in the towing. That's going to cost you around 700 euros extra. And then that's going to compete with the Neo ET5, for instance. The limousine version of this is also going to be the longest ID model that you can get, well, the touring also, and also the shortest when it comes to the height of the car of the ID models that you can get. You can see it is a very long car, 4 meters and 96 long, 1 meter and 86 wide without the side mirrors extended, and also 1 meter and 54 in its height. That again is the shortest one that you can get. When it comes to the wheelbase, that's also going to be 2 meters and 97, so a fairly long wheelbase, allowing for a good amount of storage space in the inside. You can see the door is also fairly wide, nice and easy entrance, fairly okayly sized while in the height, also fairly nice height. So it's easy to step in and out, even for a little bit older people. You can also see the door handles do not fold outwards for aerodynamic reasons. They just have a little bit of touch down there where you have to press inwards. When it comes to the rims, you're able to choose between 20 and 19 inch for the Pro. The Pro S and the Pro get 19 inch standard wise. You can get them in black as well if you get the black stylized package. We have them on the 20 inch rims on here on Bridgestone tires. Down here, a little bit of black side skirt, which does look fairly good because it's also a little bit indented. Automatically foldable side mirrors. And you can, like I said, also get the black style, where standard-wise with that, you're going to get rear blacked-out windows. In the black style, you're also going to get this ID.7 signature down here in black. Obviously, we don't have it because it's not in black. If you get the exterior package, you also get LED dynamic rear lights, which have like this blinker effect. Really doesn't look too great. We'll put a close-up on there. It looks a little bit old and very, well, bulky in my opinion. You're going to be able to tow 1.2 tons if you do get a towing bar on here, and on that towing hook you're also going to have a load capacity of 75 kilograms. With the exterior package you also get sensors on the bottom, so let's see if it works. It does. That's worth the 5,000 euros extra straight away. And in here, very big space for the limousine variant of this car. 532 liters up to 1,586 liters. You also have this little net in here, which you can theoretically, well, put out, and a little bit more storage space down there, where theoretically you might be able to put a cable in there, but that is about it. If you close it up, you can also see we do not have that's a butterfly. We do not have a rear windscreen wiper, just for aerodynamic reasons, which might be a little bit unfortunate when it's raining, and you're driving on the Autobahn, for instance. So you're able to charge a car on the back right here, and the max charging speed of this car is 175 kilowatts. That is almost as good as some competitors. Just the Model 3 is a little bit faster with 220, and also the Ioniq 6 with the 800 volt architecture charging at around, well, 250 kilowatts. That is definitely a step up. We were able to do a loading test or charging test from 22 up to 81%. That took us a total of 24 minutes. Claimed from 10 to 80 is around 28 minutes. In that time, we charged a total of 48 kilowatts an hour, and we also had an average speed of 120.4 kilowatts. And like I said, the max charging speed, I didn't say that yet, but was 185. So actually it was 10 kilowatts quicker than what is claimed for this car. So actually fairly decent. And in my opinion, with 24 minutes from 22 up to 81%, so a fairly decent time for this car. And then you're obviously going to be able to get up to around 550, 620 if you're driving in the city of range. I don't think that is a bad value. That's actually a fairly decent value for its segment. So because we do have that big wheelbase, we also have a ton of space in here. You can see, because in electric cars, it's usually the problem that the bench is going to be a little bit on the lower side due to the fact that the floor is just a little bit higher, and therefore you're always going to not have your upper thigh touching to the bench. But here you have no problem because you have so much space. You can see I can just sit like this and enjoy my ride. Seat is adjusted to me in the front, 1.80 m, 5'11", and I have plenty of space. Also a couple of storage space capacities down there. You also have, with the Interior Plus package, you get heated seats in the back and also your own climate control with 2 USB-Cs down there. Also, obviously no center tunnel. It's on an MEB platform, so you don't have a center tunnel. Harman Kardon sound system does also come with that interior package. 700 watt sound system, not too bad. A little bit ambient lighting down there and fairly good quality. The only thing that I will say is, why do you need to put piano black on where you have your hand the whole time? You're just gonna have so many stains on there and fingerprints. Otherwise, if you're sitting here even with 5 people, you're sitting up a little bit higher, you still got a good amount of headroom, around, well, 2 centimeters, so 1.85 m is not going to be the most comfortable, but a little bit more on the smaller size. But still, because of no center tunnel, you can sit in here a little bit longer. And in general, I just think it's a very, very comfortable ride. You can theoretically also put this down here, 2 cup holders, and up top we also have the Smart Glass, which does come with the exterior package plus the smart glass package, and that is obviously dimmed right now, and you can do that manually in the front. So welcome in the interior, where you can see, well, it is fairly minimalistic. We don't have many buttons, but we have a lot of capacity buttons. You, for instance, get this big display now standard-wise with 15 inches. That's going to be Apple CarPlay, Android Auto wirelessly. If we go in here, you can see a very big display as well, because everything is filled up. Good display, might just irritate you a little bit on the road. You can have some quick binds up here, for instance, your drive mode, if you do get the exterior package with the DCC drive modes in there. Assistant features, you can do that if we quickly, well, it's going to drive and to be here. You can see we have to go through here to turn off, for instance, the speed warning, which is new in Germany, so you have to press around 3 buttons to get there. You can also change a couple of things in there. One thing I really like about this interior, if you do get the interior package, for instance, for 2,600 euros, you get these massage functions and also these ergo active seats, which are really nice. If you do pay a little bit extra to get the interior package plus, you will also get ventilated seats and heated seats in the rear, and those ventilated seats are really good, and the massage function here is so good. I'm going to turn it on during the review now because it's so good. If you press down here, you can see, for instance, massage function. You can even massage your butt if you go all the way down here for your pelvis. Who doesn't like a good butt massage? The only thing that I will complain about is that everything is touch. And the other thing, if you look at these vents, well, you can't move them. You can only move them if you actually use your finger and swipe them around here. That does have a couple of cool functions, because, for instance, up here you can go in here, and then once you've driven a little bit more, you can actually ask for fresh air, and then it will rotate these automatically. Just a little bit unfortunate that you have to do it through here and you can't just do this manually. Why? Why? It is just so much irritating, because you have to keep your eyes off the road and you have to go down here and actually see if you're doing anything, because there's also no feedback. And down here you can obviously change the temperature if you want to do that. Otherwise, you standard-wise also get your augmented reality heads-up display, which is great, and that kind of eliminates the need of your very tiny digital cockpit down there, which you can't really change anything, and that's the way you can also see this. This is the same steering wheel as in other models, but there's no button up here because you can't change any settings in the digital cockpit. You can only change it in the heads-up display, and they just eliminated that. It looks a little bit weird. Capacitive buttons on the steering wheel is also not a thing that I like too much, but they have kind of listened to, well, people now and reverted their thing about that. You can now also get inductive loading down here, where you can put your phone. It gets fairly hot, and most of the times it doesn't charge too well in my opinion. 2 USB-Cs down there, a little bit more cup holders. If you want more minimalistic, you can do this. A little bit of space down there, or quite a lot of space actually, where you can put stuff in. And like I said, we have this panoramic window. If you open it, there you go, open it, close it. Very smart technology, but you can't completely open it if you want to do that. But let's now drive the car, because that is the main thing that I kind of want to do about this car, is driving it. It is, well, an electric car. And with an electric car, you obviously get that instant punch from a vehicle, and I haven't driven too many electric cars in the recent days or weeks. So the first time I got in here, it's always like, oh, there's that punch, oh, there's that punch. So every time I'm at a stop sign, I try to accelerate a little bit too fast, because that's just what I do. Let's now do our turning test. 10.9 meters, there you go, you saw that. 10.9 meters is quite good. That allows you for a fairly maneuverable car in and around the city. And for the segment of this car with almost 5 meters of length, that is a very good turning radius. For instance, a Volvo V90 with almost the same, or actually I think identical dimension when it comes to the length, that had around 12 meters, so a meter more. And this just is very compact, and therefore the maneuverable around the city. You might not even be able to tell that this car is 5 meters when you're driving the car, because out the back it doesn't feel so far away when you look through the rear window, and the car just doesn't feel like it's 5 meters long. Rear view is also fairly decent, surrounding view is okay. I'd only complain about the A-pillar, that's a little bit on the bigger side. However, in my opinion, still an okay size. The rear window also has there you go, I did the punch again. The rear window also has a separate kind of window on the side by the C-pillar, and therefore making it a little bit nicer when looking out, because you can kind of see a little bit through that. When it comes to the options that you can also choose for this car, you can also pick up the IQ Drive, which gives you travel assist, and also well, a couple of other, for instance, blind spot assistance, collision warner, and stuff like that. Travel assist is okay. Let's quickly turn it on. If you go down here, we can press on the mode, and you can see travel assist, semi-auto assistance. If we press on set, then the augmented reality in the heads-up display is really nice, because it also shows you the line it's following, and really is very well integrated. I do like the augmented reality headset. That would be cool via headset. Heads-up display, fairly big as well, and just shows stuff on the road as well. Works fairly okay. Tighter corners might not be its most preferenced thing, but doing a fairly good job in my opinion. Yeah, it is okay. Let's see what it does with this corner here. Well, it kind of likes to go on the center and then go out a little bit, almost like a racing track kind of drive mode. But you get that with the IQ Drive, 1,440 euros extra. We do also have with the exterior package plus, we get this in here, which is the DCC chassis. So you can choose between a couple of different modes. Like I've said multiple times, I don't feel too much difference between complete sport and complete comfort, but you do notice a difference in getting the DCC chassis equipped and not having it equipped at all. Then you notice a difference, but in here they might just do a little bit of difference. You do also have the choice between Eco, Comfort, Sport, and your individual mode. If you go into Sport, you can see, oh, please pay attention to your road. Okay, I'm sorry. You can also see the punch a little bit. You have to slow it down. 286 horsepower. Just from an electric car, it's going to give that instant punch. At higher speeds, it might not feel like it has 286 horsepower, but the car is meant for a little bit more of a comfort drive and not complete sport mode. But they do also, with the new ID models, you get the new 3-phase permanently synchronized magnet motor, which is also the APP 550. That's supposed to be a little bit more efficient and also a little bit more punchy. And yeah, I mean, it does have a fairly good cornering capabilities, a little bit of body lean. You definitely notice that when driving a little bit faster, just due to the sheer size of this car. But in general, you don't really want to drive sporty in this. You want a little more comfort. That you definitely feel in the inside as well. You get a fairly good equipped car, even if you opt for a little bit more Harman Kardon sound system, which does sound good. It is well isolated in here. Massage function, which are really good. One of the best, or I think the best that we've had in any car. On par with these, well, the ergo seats, ergo active seats are really just top of the class seats in this price segment. or in any price segment in my opinion. When it comes to the consumption, the car is not as efficient as you might think. The WLTP claims around 16.3 down to 14.1. When we look at our driving, obviously we drive a little bit faster at times, but on the long term, this is including Autobahn, so basically the combined value, we've been getting around 20.8, but that also includes 88 kilometers of top speed driving. But in general, I don't think you're going to be getting down to that 14. When we were driving in the city, mainly we got around 16, 17 kilowatts an hour. That's what you're going to be looking at when driving this in the city, which I still think is fairly good. And with that, you're going to get a range of around 450, 500. WLTP claims up to 550. When driving in the city, even up to 621 kilometers, which is quite a lot. But otherwise, the chassis also makes it fairly comfortable in here. Obviously, I wouldn't say that you want to upgrade to the 20-inch rims. They do look better, but are going to be a little bit more prone over potholes. But I gotta say, even with the 20-inch rims, it's still a very, very comfortable ride. At higher speeds, the wind noise is going to pick up a little bit. It's isolated very well, but the wind noise with the side mirrors is going to pick up a little bit, and there's going to be quite a good amount of wind turbulence in there, but otherwise a very, very comfortable and quiet ride in this car in general. If you obviously want a little bit more sporty driving feeling, you can get the GTX with 340 horsepower and also the bigger battery that you get in the Pro S variant, so the 84 kilowatts an hour variant. However, the efficiency is obviously going to be less than there because the battery is just on a higher constraint when it comes to the horsepower, or higher, well, horsepower in general, and therefore range is going to deplete a little bit. So I personally would maybe even pick up the Pro S just to get that bigger battery and therefore go a little bit further. But I still think even for this, well, for the 77 kilowatts an hour battery, still a very good range. So what is my final verdict on the ID.7? Well, first of all, I would love to test in the future the touring model and also the GTX version. That would be pretty cool to compare them. But in general, I think it has a lot of luxurious features. It drives amazingly comfortable. Interior might be a little bit too, or it is too minimalistic, just too many control sensitive buttons, which I'm not a big fan of. It's a climate control, like who thought about that? Why? Otherwise, a very well and luxurious car from the inside. I think it is a fairly good car for its segment. Might be a little bit on the more expensive side, but with the premium from Volkswagen 50,000, I think is in a range of being fairly decent. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. Make sure to like and subscribe. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.